Okay, so today is the last day of 2023, from tomorrow 2024. Okay, so 1 year has passed, has gone from our life, actually, every one of us. So this reminds me of the Buddha's teaching on Samvega. Samvega literally means a sense of urgency. You see, sense of urgency means that you become a bit more careful about your own time, because we have a limited time on this earth. Our life is limited, so, and especially when you have certain goal in your life, it may be spiritual goal, it may be any other goal that you wish to achieve. You see, because when you have certain goal, then you also have to achieve it, and you have a limited time for your goals. And also you will be having different goals in your life, not like just one goal, but different goal at different stage in your life. So all these goals have its own limited period, time, you see. So with regard to spiritual goal, Buddha asks us to be having this sense of urgency. You have to have some sort of urgency, so that you are not lax, you're not lagging behind, you're not being lethargic, you're not lazy, you're not because laziness is something postponing, and laziness is something that is one of the hindrances. Buddha spoke about 5 hindrances in our life. So one of the hindrances, obstacle for our growth, for our goal, is laziness, postponing. And to come out of that, you need to have this sense of urgency. So Buddha said, Jati Jara Vyadi Chuti Apaya Atita Pataka Vata Dukkham Idani Ahara Gavetti Dukkham. So Jati Jara Vyadi Chuti Apaya. Okay. So Jati means birth, you see, birth in our life. This birth or next birth, rebirth, because rebirth and birth is something very much part of what Buddha taught, you see. So we think about birth because first of all, this birth, this life, that the fact that we have human life means we have to live this life. We have to live this life in the best possible way. We have to make sure that we live our life in the best possible way, and in the best pleasant way, in the most happier way. So this life. But then Buddha doesn't just stop here. He says there is the next life. There is the life that will come after this life, you see. Because we do not just become nothing after our life. We are reborn. We are reborn in different world, based on our karma that we do in this life, and the karma that we have been doing in the many past lives, you see. So in one of the sutra called Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, one of the sutta means some of the teaching that Buddha gave. So usually when Buddha gives a teaching, it will have one name for that particular teaching. So one of the teaching is Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, and there is a Maha Kamma Vibhanga Sutta also, which means the analysis of karma. So based on our karma, we are we get a particular life, in particular existence. So, and this life is not just a human life. It's not like we are human now, so we will be reborn as a human only. It's not like that. Our next life could be something else. In any world, basically. Not even animal world, or in some extent the divine world, because Buddha spoke about 31 existences, 31 different planes of existence, different world. Why those worlds are there? Why those existences are there? Because the beings, including human beings and any other beings, divine beings or any other beings, they all of us, all the beings engage in different kinds of activity, in different kinds of action, as you all may be knowing, yourself or any people whom you know. Everyone actually commits different kinds of karma in their own life. So based on that, you need to have some life based on the kind of mind. You see, so we have a mind and we have a body. So the body, you can say, it's that particular existent. For example, animal, they also survive. They also exist on the earth, but then their mind is different. You see, so according to their kind of mind, they get certain body. You see, so the more grosser your karma is, the more grosser, which means the more heavier your karma is, the more heavier body you get. Now if you look at animal, their body is more heavier, you see. So, and the human body is more subtle. But then if you see the divine world, divine beings, they have more subtler. As there are 6 divine existence, the more up you are in that ladder, in that existence, the more subtle your body becomes. You see, the more subtler and subtler your body becomes. And in the Brahma world, it is even more subtler, So therefore, this jati is something we need to be careful, because when we have this understanding, some confidence in the Buddha, for that you also need to know something about Buddha, so that you have some confidence in what Buddha is saying, you see. So some life story of Buddha, who Buddha is. So Buddha says that it's not just he's saying, but he actually been in all these different existences, and just one night before he became enlightened, he actually saw many of his past lives. And he also saw many of the past lives of other people, his relatives and any other beings. He saw how they were born based on their karma, and how they go to one existence and another existence and another existence. So it is something we need to think about, because when we think about that, we will be more careful about our own action, our own karma, you see. And the advantage of that is that we will be, and it's a bit of fear also, right? You need to have some fear. Okay, if I do something wrong, then I may be, in a lower world, in a very heavier world, difficult world. So some sort of a fear, which is called the spiritual fear, the healthy fear, because the fear also, there is both healthy and unhealthy fear also, some fear which are just you created fear, which is which is coming from a place of confusion or not knowing. You see, so jati. Then jati jara. Jara is decaying, aging, right? So all of us, we age, right? So when we think about age, okay, I'm aging. So now this year has gone, so which means one year has gone from your life. You are 1 year aged. You aged 1 year. So it's something that you remind yourself, because with age, there are many difficulties that come, you see, physically or in other way. So then what happens is that you lost, you lost that. If you one particular 1 year has gone out of your life, if it is not well utilized, for your own growth. So it also is a sense of urgency. And now, hearing all of these things, you might be feeling a little bit like a negative, like a pessimistic kind of a thing. But in reality, it is actually more optimistic, because you start valuing your own time. You start understanding the human life that you have, the time that you have. You see, so it helps in that. So aging is one of the thing. Then jati jara vyadi, sickness. You see, so now that you are healthy, but then you may not be always healthy. You see, some sickness may come. So you think about sometime this sickness also. Okay, I'm healthy now, which is good, but I may not be healthy. So what you do? You work to become more healthy, maybe. And you work, you do your things before you are not healthy, and you achieve some of the things that you have to achieve in your life before it is too late. So jati jara vyati chuti, and chuti is death. Death, it is chuti, marana. So death is also something that also helps us to value our life, because when we die, everything ends, right? And death is something that can come any time for all of us. We don't know when we die. You see, so when we think about death, then again it creates that sense of urgency. It creates that sense of push. It pushes us to do something good in our life. Okay. So that is chuti. Then apaya. Apaya is the 4 lower world, which is niraya, tirachana, peta, asura. So that is the hell world, the animal world, and the other demonic world, and the spirit world. So these 4 lower world. So as I already mentioned about some of the world. So you have to be a little bit, you are more careful. Now, some of you may be doubting, whether such world actually exists or not, but it doesn't matter whether you think that exists or not, because at least but you can't even say no, right? You can't actually say it doesn't exist categorically, right? And you can't say it actually exists. You don't know because you have not seen it. But then when it coming from a person like Buddha, who is enlightened, so you have some confidence, in Buddha, some trust in Buddha. So when Buddha is saying, so you know something about Buddha, how his life was, and how he was compassionate, and he was a prince. He was a prince, and he left everything, and he became a monk, and he lived a very simple life throughout his life. When he became a monk, so you have some idea about his life story, so you have some trust. If Buddha is saying, okay, it may be there, so you have some trust, and then based on the trust you actually believe, some sort of belief or confident that it may exist, it may exist, and then you are a little bit afraid of that also. So it's again coming to this idea of a healthy fear, So healthy fear is something important. Jati jara vedi chuti apaya atita appataka vatta dukkam idani ahara gavetti dukkam. So atita appataka vatta dukkam. So you are also being little concerned about all the past existences, because we do believe, as I have said, repeated birth and death in our existence, samsara. So we had many births in our life, in the past lives, So seeing all the past life, and also obviously when we have so many lives, we naturally, might have done so many karmas, and also we might have experienced so many things in our life. Even just in one life you can see so many things that we experience. So we become a little bit careful that, that let me set my present right, so that a lot of the past influences, the past karmic influences will be negated, because it is also possible for us to actually negate some of the influence of the past if we really focus on the present now, you see. So Buddha was not like to be worried about the past, but at the same time, bit concerned about the past. And the best way to be concerned about the past is to focus on the present, set your present right, so that way you actually set your past right and set your future right, you see. So we have to think about the past and future in a healthy way, but then what do? We focus on the present, Pachopanna chaye Dhammo tattha tattha vipassati. That's what Buddha said, So then idani ahara gavetti dukkam. Idani ahara gavetti dukkam means the struggle of the present, you see. Ahara means, ahara gavetti dukkam means survival, basically. Survival of the present, you see. So all of you know, how do you survive, right? So you survive with all the struggles that you go through, right? Whatever kind of struggle, maybe, it may not be very big struggle, but in some way, you struggle to somehow survive, to take care of your body, to eat, to sleep, to take care of yourself, to do job, to manage your relationship, and to figure out a lot of things in your own life. So the present struggle that we have. So when you see some of the struggle in your life, it's also important, and so that you try to minimize the struggle, the difficulty of the present struggle that we all go through, you see. So a little bit, seeing the present, because when, sometime if you just look at your present, have a bird eye view of your present, then you will be like, oh, this is what I am going through, this is what I am, you see, this is what my situation. So then you know that, if you look closely, you will see that a lot of things I really need to do. And of course, meditation is one of the most helpful way wherein you can actually visit yourself, look at yourself and things that you experience. So you see, looking at your own present life also in some way motivates you to do something, So all these are nothing but just to motivate you, So we these days we talk about, inspiration, motivation, encouragement, but what Buddha gave is this 8 thing, birth, aging, sickness, death, and the lower world, and struggle of the present and the past struggle, you see. So I think this is the biggest motivation, don't you think so? Right? If you think about, say, I will age, if you think I will age, then you'll be like, oh, I'm going to age, let me do something, let me not waste my time, you see. Because otherwise you think like, oh, I'm all the time young. so you are a bit relaxed, and I mean, not in the sense of positive, but you're being lazy, lethargic, and suddenly you realize, oh, 20 years, 30 years of my life gone, 40 years of my life gone, So then you will say, oh, पता भी नहीं चला कैसे 60 हो गया, 50 हो गया, So I remember once I was somewhere in Ladakh, so some two friends meeting after a long time, after maybe 30 years. Then they were like, "Arey, pata bhi nahi chala kaise time ho gaya." You see, so they were saying like that. So I think that's what will happen, So don't you think thinking about aging and is a good thing, you see. So I mean, you have to take this thing in the right say in the positive light, It's not like not to make you gloomy, not to make you feel like, oh, you see, you have all these difficulties. So it's not to make you feel gloomy, but rather it should make you to to sort of enlighten you, to sort of encourage you. So it's good to think about our life in that way. So yeah, I wish that this next year, which is tomorrow, 2024, be more enthusiastic, more energetic, more productive, more healthy, more peaceful. You become more peaceful, more joyful, more productive, more healthy, and more kind, and more successful. That's what I wish to all of you, in fact to all of us. So that's what we have to, because that way we will be by the end 2024 we will be more, we will look back that year and, oh, it has been quite productive, so you don't feel guilt, that, oh, my this year almost a lot of time I have wasted, you don't feel that kind of guilt. Okay, so this sense of urgency that Buddha spoke, and this is something that you can remember throughout the year 2024. So this is my gift for all of you, 2024, to think about it. And so some of you might think, oh, it's so gloomy, what a message, it's such a negative message. Some of you may think, but this can be the most positive message, I feel, you see. So as they say that, in the bad time, great people are born, but in the good time, people are wrong, people become wrong, you see. So so somehow I think we need to be thinking about some of the realities of life, in the sense, reality in the sense, not, I mean, reality in the sense, things that are part of our life, And when I say reality, doesn't only mean some sufferings, but then there are peace as well, and because there will be more. Because you see, the absence of suffering is happiness. You see, what is happiness is the absence of suffering, right? What is health? What is healthy? When there is no sickness, that is health. So absence of suffering means presence of happiness, you see. So that's what it is. So the more you are out of suffering, which is, I mentioned. So the more you will be happier, you see. And so this is my message and my spiritual gift for for all of you. And with this, I conclude my few words of Dhamma, and also we conclude this evening gathering. This is every Sunday gathering at 6, so please do come every Sunday. It will be more helpful for your own spiritual journey and any other journey that you have. Okay, so we wish may you all be happy, healthy, peaceful and joyful, and may all your wishes come true, and may you be free from harm and danger, sickness and worries. May the blessing of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha be with all of you. May the blessing of all the holy saints be with all of you. May the blessing of all the divine beings be with all of you. May this coming year be a blessing, be a prosperous, be successful, joyful, be a year of growth and productivity. Bhavatu abhamangalang rakhan abhadevata sabba buddha anubhave sada sothe bhavantu te bhava Bhavatu Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sangha Vena Sada Sothe Bhavantu Te. Now let us wish for the happiness of all the beings. May all beings be happy and healthy. Sukhi bhaveyan dukkha aham necha majata chataverino imam he gama ketam he satanto sukhe paranchara jeso chakavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, we see you next Sunday.